Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Intervlog, your window into West Africa's unfolding realities, the stories shaping our communities, and the voices speaking from the ground where security, identity, and resilience continue to intersect.
Fulani Bandits, I won't call them now. They don't carry their crease, enter Harcourt. They go militant zone. They don't believe what they see. They see they see for them. They not come back to talk the story. About 15 of them I go there. No one come back alive.
Today, we take you to the outskirts of Port Harcourt, Rivers State, where a tense episode on Thursday night brought a familiar national conversation back to the forefront. The question of community vigilance, the rising wave of rural insecurity, and the evolving role of local volunteers who believe it is their duty to defend the land they call home. Tonight's report connects two major developments: an attempted midnight invasion of a Christian farming community on the fringes of Port Harcourt, halted by community defense volunteers; a viral video statement by former Niger Delta militant figure, General Gabriel Asabuja, declaring that the Niger Delta will not tolerate bandit or ISWAP incursions. Across both stories lies a common thread: a rising assertion of local agency in the face of widening insecurity, and a renewed sense of territorial defense by the Niger Delta volunteers, many of whom are Christians, who have publicly vowed that no extremist elements will be allowed to take root in the region. Intervlog is here to provide a grounded, analytical, but neutral account of what happened, the responses it triggered, and the broader implications for regional security. It was a few minutes past 11 p.m. when residents of a Christian farming settlement near Port Harcourt detected unusual movement on the northern edge of their farmland. According to eyewitnesses, it began with faint sounds, footsteps, hushed voices, and the kind of coordinated advance that suggested more than casual trespassers. The volunteers, trained through a community-led early warning arrangement, swung into action. Local defense personnel, many of them former Niger Delta volunteers who now coordinate with security agencies, took defensive positions. They raised the alarm, activated perimeter warnings, and deployed in strategic points around the settlement. Within minutes, more than 15 assailants, heavily armed, emerged from the farmland corridor. The confrontation that followed was brief, intense, and decisive. By the end of the exchange, the attackers were subdued, 15 heavy weapons were recovered, and no residents were harmed. Security officials later described the threat as fully neutralized. The investigations are ongoing, and authorities urge citizens to avoid speculation about identities, motives, or affiliations of the attackers. But what remains undisputed is the bravery and coordination displayed by the volunteers. For weeks, residents of the outskirts of Port Harcourt had been on heightened alert. There had been rumors of suspicious movement along rural corridors, concerns about the security vacuum in certain parts of southern Nigeria, and fears that attacks common in the Middle Belt might slowly creep southward. Many community leaders credit their survival to preparation. Night patrols, perimeter alarms, cooperation with security services all played a part. One volunteer explained to reporters, "Once the alarms sounded, everyone knew exactly where to stand and what to do. That made all the difference tonight." These are not words of triumph, but of relief. Rural residents have grown increasingly concerned by the frequency of attacks in other regions, assaults on farms, churches, and local settlements. To them, preparedness is no longer optional. It is essential. Barely 24 hours after the attempted attack, another development rippled across social media: a powerful video statement from General Gabriel Asabuja, a former Niger Delta militant commander. Standing before a display of rifles and ammunition, Asabuja issued a direct warning to Fulani Bandits or ISWAP elements. "Avoid the Niger Delta. We are fully prepared for you." For many in the region, this message was not simply rhetoric. It was a reflection of what happened the night before in the outskirts of Port Harcourt, when local Christian volunteers, aligned with the Niger Delta militant communities, demonstrated readiness under pressure. In the video, Asabuja urged Nigerians to stay vigilant and cooperate with security forces, but he also emphasized that locals would not surrender their land to extremist threats. This declaration aligns with recent statements by Asari Dokubo, leader of the Niger Delta People's Volunteer Force, who maintained, "If Boko Haram comes to Port Harcourt, my business is to neutralize them." These declarations come amid Nigeria's ongoing struggle with insecurity, mass abductions in the north, rising bandit activities, and the Senate's approval of the death penalty from related crimes. As tensions widen in other parts of the country, the Niger Delta's volunteers are positioning themselves as the last line of defense for their homeland. In Thursday night's confrontation, much of the decisive action came from Christian volunteers hailing from Niger Delta militant backgrounds. While many have reintegrated into civilian life, their sense of responsibility toward community defense remains strong. Intervlog acknowledges, in a neutral, fact-based tone, their swift coordination, their courage, and their contribution to ensuring no civilian lives were lost. They subdued heavily armed assailants, they recovered significant weaponry, and they prevented what residents feared might have been a large-scale tragedy. Their actions, though rooted in community defense traditions, underline a reality nationwide. Ordinary citizens are increasingly stepping into roles once reserved for state forces. Pigeon parable. If bush day burn, no be today goat go learn how to run. English explanation. When danger becomes regular, preparedness becomes a lifestyle, not an emergency reaction. This parable reflects what the Port Harcourt community lived out: advanced preparation, community coordination, and the understanding that insecurity does not always announce itself politely. While volunteers played a crucial role, Niger Delta militants confirmed they were alerted early, joined the defensive effort, and launched investigations immediately afterward. This collaboration seems to be part of a growing model in rural Nigeria. Community vigilance, early warning systems, rapid communication, and local volunteers reinforcing state efforts. Authorities have urged residents to avoid assumptions that could inflame ethnic or religious tensions. Neutral investigations, they say, will determine motives and identities. Asabuja's video and the larger national context. General Asabuja's message did not emerge in isolation. Nigeria is experiencing a complex moment. Mass kidnappings in northern states like Kebbi and Kwara. Renewed bandit attacks in the Middle Belt. Increasingly bold operations by extremist groups. Rising public demand for state protection. Regional security funds proposed by southern governors. Federal debates on capital punishment for kidnappers. Amid this backdrop, Asabuja's message could be seen as a grassroots security assertion, an effort to signal that the Niger Delta will not remain passive while violence expands southward. He alleges that double standards exist in federal responses to insecurity, claiming that some bandit groups in the north operate freely online. His concerns echo wider frustrations expressed across southern Nigeria. Though such claims remain disputed, they highlight the tension between regional perceptions of insecurity and federal security narratives. Pigeon Parable 2. When person dey guard house, no means say, e dey find fight. English. Explanation. Defending your home does not mean you seek violence. It means you refuse to be unprotected. This parable helps contextualize the stance of Niger Delta volunteers, defensive rather than aggressive. Eyewitness reports from X described an incident where militants responded to armed attackers with the traditional Ijaw war cry, Asawana, a historic symbol of unity and defense. While official confirmation of that specific clash is still unavailable, the symbolism matters. It indicates a rising cultural and psychological preparedness among Niger Delta youths, who believe defending their territory is both a historical duty and a contemporary necessity. This identity-driven defense mechanism has roots in decades of struggle, from resource-controlled battles to community protection against external threats. The 15 heavy guns recovered, a critical detail. One of the most striking outcomes of the Port Harcourt incident is the reported seizure of 15 heavy guns from the attackers. In a region where the presence of such weapons could have easily escalated violence, their recovery carries several implications. It reduces the operational capacity of the attackers. It prevents potential future assaults. It signals that local defenders were capable of disarming organized threats. It gives investigators tangible evidence to work with. For residents, this seizure reinforced confidence in their volunteers. For security agencies, it provided crucial investigative leads. For national observers, it raised questions about the source and movement of such weapons. Pigeon Parable 3. If you see snake for roof, no weight make ye fall for your bed. English explanation. Early action prevents greater danger. This parable mirrors the urgency with which the volunteers responded Thursday night. They acted early, acted decisively, and prevented the situation from escalating. The incident reveals several national lessons. 1. Rural communities remain vulnerable. In many parts of southern and middle belt Nigeria, vast farmlands create natural blind spots. 2. Early warning saves lives. The alarm system installed by residents played a crucial role. 3. Community-state collaboration is essential. No single group can do it alone. 4. Volunteers remain a vital but controversial element of Nigeria's security ecosystem. Their presence is followed by debates about oversight, legitimacy, and the risk of escalation. 5. The Niger Delta appears increasingly unwilling to tolerate extremist threats. Statements by Asabuja and Dokubo emphasize this point. Tonight's discussion shows us a Niger Delta where communities refuse to live in fear. Volunteers do not wait for threats to mature. Regional leaders speak boldly about security. Cultural identity strengthens resolve, and Christian volunteers demonstrate resilience grounded in both faith and history. This is not a call to arms nor a celebration of violence. It is an acknowledgement, in neutral style, of community initiative, courage, and a refusal to be silent in the face of insecurity. Nigeria stands at a critical hinge moment in its security narrative. In the north, communities feel besieged. In the Middle Belt, farming populations live in constant alert. In the south, especially the Niger Delta, there is a rising sentiment. We will not wait to be victims. The Thursday night incident near Port Harcourt may not be the last confrontation, but it is a clear demonstration that rural communities, especially Christian farming settlements, are increasingly determined to protect their land. The Niger Delta volunteers, many of them Christians, have sent a message not only through their actions but through their declarations. This land will not bow to extremist threats, whether through early warning systems, defensive coordination, collaboration with security agencies, or strong public statements from figures like Asabuja and Dokubo. The region is positioning itself as a fortified zone of resistance. Intervlog commends the bravery displayed, recognizes the complexity of the moment, and continues to report with neutrality, clarity, and respect for all sides involved. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for staying with us. This is Intervlog, bringing voice to the stories that shape our continent. This is the end of our program today. See you on Intervlog same time tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon to get new video updates. Thank you for watching Intervlog. Thank you.